So, a long time ago, there was a caveman sitting by a fire with the fellas, like you do. And he noticed how everyone kept going outside at night and getting eaten by saber-toothed tigers. He kept telling them, hey, this is caveman times. The tigers outside have big old teeth and they're voiced by Dennis Leary. We really shouldn't go out there. But all the other cavemen were like, I can take a little kitty cat. And then they'd go out and die. But then the caveman had an idea. He told everybody, hey, if you go out there at night time, there's a giant creature out there. It's really big and scary, and it'll definitely kill you, like you got no chance. And everybody got scared, and they stopped going outside, and that caveman went on to direct the movie Little Man in 2006. That's right, it was Keenan Wayne the whole time. All that is to say, scary stories have been around a while, and they've become much more than cautionary tales. Nowadays, we create universes and histories and characters that are so recognizable and haunting, they transcend the very medium into the pantheon of human history, and god damn it, looks like we got a little carried away! But for all our talk of spookiness, we don't have a lot of solutions. It's easy to shout at the girl in the movie going alone into the haunted house and think, I would never do that. But what would you do? And more importantly, what should you do? And that's where we come in. I'm Ephraim Bernie. I am a casual observer of the strange, the creepy, and whatnot. But I've got two strangers over here, Gus Bernie and Ryan Quigley. They follow me around, and we thought that what we would do is, because we're all a little spooked ourselves, and we figured that if we were ever to encounter some of these scenarios that we read about online, we would maybe want to prepare ourselves for...
I'm already spooked, to be honest.
Wow.
Oh!
The scariest part is this intro, huh?
I'm sorry, you said you're a casual observer of the creepy?
So just to establish ourselves, I need to study this stuff. I love this kind of stuff. Ryan is scared of it.
I'm a little sissy boy.
I'm interested, but I don't know a lot. That's my role. I'm like someone that if someone was coming at me with a knife, I'd be like, I'm interested.
The rules of the show are simple. Gus and Ryan will listen closely as I read them a story for the first time. At the end of the story, it's up to them to decide how they would survive the events of the tale. They will be restricted to the same circumstances of the protagonist, so no preparing or calling for help when it would be impossible. After they've decided their plans, I read off a third plan I have hatched after spending a week dissecting the work and figuring out the most pseudo-scientifically accurate approach to dealing with the story's baddie. The challenge today is a 2020 story from HoodQuest on CreepyPasta.com, titled Too Early to Trick or Treat. And feel free to interrupt as you will. I'm in desperate need of help. If anyone reading this could please give me some insight, it would be greatly appreciated. I'm aware that some, or most of you, may be hardcore horror fans like myself. That's why I'm coming to you with a serious problem. I've always been a fan of horror. I always enjoyed a good jump scare or a creepy feeling to keep me up. However, what I have been going through for the past 10 years is something I can't understand.
10 years.
Oh my.
It's 10 years.
But also, is that why people watch horror? Because he said he wants to be kept up at night.
Yeah, he wants a jump scare.
Is that why you watch horror movies?
I mean, I'm already up at night. I was trying to do
Oh my god! Good lord!
Keep going, please.
I am a 40-year-old man.
I'm sorry, Hoodwinked, or whatever your name is. It's some funny stuff. I don't think you meant that to be funny.
I am a 40-year-old man. I'm happily married, and I have 3 children who all go to different universities. Every year.
I'm sorry. He has 3 kids that are in college, and he's only 40.
Too.
I
He's
know.
had
He
3
started
He got
kids
busy.
by...
He got busy.
So he's up at night.
Okay, that's with me. Okay. I think
Whoa!
Every year, my wife and I would get extremely excited around the fall season. The reason for that is particularly because we both love Halloween. We would always spend a good few grand on decorations and candy.
Few grand.
$1,000
He has
yeah.
3 kids in college and he's spending.
on candy.
Oh, sure. We were known as the go-to house in our neighborhood for scoring a motherload of delicious treats. However, as I mentioned, something strange occurred 10 years ago. One night, my wife and I were enjoying a little quality time together when we got an unexpected knock at the door. I answered it and was nearly knocked off my feet from the sudden scare. When I opened the door, I was greeted by a large person in a yellow rabbit costume. They looked like a mascot. At close examination, the costume was a little unsettling.
It is Halloween.
Well, it's not Halloween yet, though. It's too early for trick-or-treating.
Oh, that's
okay.
true.
You see, I'm scared.
The head of the costume contained massive cartoon eyes and ears that were quite long. The whole costume was pretty impressive. It looked like one of those full-body costumes you couldn't just find in a store. It was like one of those suits you would have to pay a pretty penny for online. The bunny held a small jack-o'-lantern bucket in his hands. He proceeded to hold it forward without saying a word. This is where the problem comes in. This happened in the early part of September. As you can imagine, we didn't have any candy to give the poor fellow. I didn't want to be rude. I thought this could just have been a confused person. There was no way it was a child. The person was huge. They had to have been at least 6.5 feet.
6'6".
6'6", this bunny.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. I'm sorry. It's a little bit too early for treats. Why don't you come back in October? We'll definitely have something for you then, I said.
I'm sorry, they have no candy?
I don't have any candy.
Nothing?
I have like 2 Oreos in the cabinet.
That would have been
You think
enough
that's going
to
to
get you out of
satisfy?
this.
Imagine being 6'6". Someone says, "Oh, yeah, you have 2
sometimes they
Oreos."
want peanuts, you know? You could offer, like, you know, like
I don't
those
have any
people
peanuts
that give-
either.
The bunny simply looked down in his empty bucket, turned his back, and skipped along the street.
A 6'6" dude had a skip. He had a frolic. Are you kidding me?
Naturally, we found the situation quite bizarre. This wouldn't necessarily be a cry for help if it ended there. The next time, it was late in December. Snow was practically pelting down on the town. That's when we received a knock at the door. I answered and was greeted by the bunny-suited individual again. The suit looked visibly dirty, as if it hadn't been taken off in who knows how long.
Can I stop you? Do you open the door?
What? Do you check?
Yeah. Ring doorbell. You could see it. Camera.
And it's him.
Yeah.
I think I would.
You would open the door?
I'd say, hey.
I would call the police immediately.
You
That's
would?
number one. Call as soon as I see this fucker back.
But he
hasn't
hasn't
done
done
Remember
anything
that?
wrong.
You think it's in the realm of possibility to forget?
Well,
The funny thing is, this person never came to my house on October 31st, not a single time. I tried to be nice again and told the person there was no candy. I also told him that he should probably find some shelter from the blizzard. There was no way I was letting him in my house. The next time it happened was in the middle of January. At this point, I was quite frankly getting a little bit irritated and uncomfortable. I even informed the local authorities of this guy.
There you go. That's my guy. Yeah, I'm with you.
I could legally say he was harassing me in my house. All these years, the police never came up with anything.
but he just skips away, right? Like, he says, no, I don't have anything for you, and he leaves.
Just skips away.
So,
Doesn't matter. Throw him in the clink.
also,
He needs to be put away.
question, why isn't he getting his wife, Gus, to come? Like, why isn't
No.
he getting help?
It's
Why is he
She
only-
might be.
6'6".
She might
No, but I
be.
mean, opening the door. Like, I would say, guys, look at this guy. He's back.
He's a 6'6". Do you know how big a 6'6"
Is he 6'6"? A lot of guys say that.
She said
Lies.
he said he's 6'6".
Lies.
I wouldn't
wanna
want
see
my
his
wife.
ID.
I let this go on for 5 years before we decided to move. One time, I even answered the door with my gun and threatened violence. Apparently, that didn't intimidate him in the slightest.
But see, I still don't get why no one else is opening the door. It's always him at home.
No, he should do it. You shouldn't let your wife open the door if he's truly 6'6".
You win
Really-
the 6'6" thing.
He's a man, because that's so important. He's a massive fucking guy.
He's a big rabbit.
He's a big rabbit.
Big rabbit. After we moved about 2 miles on the other side of town, we thought it was over.
Not far enough.
Yeah, not far enough.
No.
I'm with you.
For a few months, nothing happened. Until one day, I got a knock at the door. I didn't think it would be him because everything seemed fine. We didn't have any problems for a while. However, when I answered, it was surely the costumed rabbit person again. His costume was completely filthy. I could see large accumulations of dust and spider webs. I could even see little spiders crawling over his body. It was as if the costume was beginning to rot. No matter how many times I threatened violence or snapped on the guy, he would always come back. This is what I need help with. A few days ago, he came back. I was reluctant to answer the door. It never worked before anyway. This time, when I answered, I could see splats of a dried red substance along his mouth and torso. I just wanted this encounter to be over with, so I reached into my pocket and handed him some peppermints. Surprisingly, he shook his head to say no. I have to admit that I'm stupid. For the first time in 10 years, I asked him the question I never thought to ask. What do you want? His body went still for a few seconds. Then he extended his bucket towards me and gestured for me to look inside.
No. No, sir.
I don't want to look.
No. I'd say it's okay, bud. I'm not looking. Bud, take the jack-o'-lantern back. I'm not fucking looking.
Take the peppermints, okay?
Take the peppermints and leave.
I nearly vomited at the sight.
What? What's in the damn thing?
Inside his bucket, there was a heart.
A human heart?
For my own conscience,
Valentine.
Like a fucking aorta?
for my own conscience, I choose to believe it wasn't a human heart, but I have doubts.
Well, but it was a heart still, like a.
It could have been a pig heart.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah.
In an act of defense, I punched the bunny right in his face.
He should have punched the dude. We're on year 10, correct?
Year 10 of this.
Oh my gosh.
You should have beat the fuck out of the guy come 6 months. He keeps showing up.
true.
Beat the shit out of him.
His soft, cotton head went flying into my front lawn. What I saw then has kept me up ever since. Under the mask, there was nothing.
Headless.
Maybe he's just a small guy inside the costume.
Or maybe it's a stack of 2 or 3 kids on each other's shoulders.
Yeah.
What the hell are you saying?
Like a little guy. I thought you were agreeing with me.
No, I was being disingenuous.
Shoot.
There was no person. It was just empty. I looked over in the yard at the discarded head. I swear for a split second, I saw the head blink. Before I could even process what was happening, the body ran towards the head. It picked up its head and ran at an inhuman speed. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to deal with this. I could honestly use some help. I've gone to the police. I've gone to my kids. Everyone thinks my wife and I are crazy. I'm desperate for help. I'm afraid that my life and that of my wife are on the line. Why? Because this morning something was written on my front door. See you on Halloween. For one last time.
Oh, so he's coming on Halloween this time.
I'm taking that as a threat. We've already decided that we'll be leaving town for Halloween. I don't know if it will matter. What if it finds us like it did the first time? Why is it coming for us? What the hell even is it? If anyone has any solutions or answers, please let me know. Halloween is quickly approaching. We're running out of time. And if a big yellow rabbit comes to your door on Halloween, or any time, slam the door in its fucking face.
I like the way you ended it. Well done.
Wow.
Well done.
What's your first response having heard the story?
Spooky.
Spooky, but I'm confused.
Spooky but confused.
10 years.
10 years of this. 10 years of...
Out of
Also,
your mind.
where is his wife's perspective on this?
You're
you
like
know?
really harping on the wife.
It's just
What
like,
is she going to do that's different?
Yeah.
She has other ideas. You know, she's like, honey, let's call the cops earlier.
I think that they've been
Let's
trying to call
record.
the cops, and the cops aren't doing anything. I'm assuming that this guy has tried to exhaust all.
Yeah, he says that he has talked to the police.
Yeah.
The first time he says
They
they
don't
talked to him
believe
after
him.
the second visit. And the police say that they can't find anything on the rabbit.
I'm telling you, if year 5 came around, you come outside, like the guy shows up, right?
Yeah.
You come with a torch,
Set him on fire.
set his ass on fire.
How would you be ready with a torch?
I know people in the torch
He
industry.
comes randomly.
The torch industry.
You have
you
to
you want the
leave
wife
him
involved? Honey, keep the torch ready in the closet. If he comes, we'll dip it in oil and we'll set him alight.
But he goes really fast.
Clearly
runs.
not. If the guy comes up and whatever, and you just say, all right, I don't have any more, and he
Okay.
skips away. So it's clearly a casual interaction they're having.
It's inconsistent. That's what I feel like. But please continue.
It does. It feels like he goes from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Again, security cameras. Boom. All over the place. You need to catch this shit on, because if you look back on it and it doesn't exist, it's on you. You're insane.
I don't think that people doubt that at this point the rabbit is coming.
Then it should be. It
It's just,
takes
what
a
are you
village.
going to do?
Yeah, it's a team effort.
So your plan is, just to spell it out for us, what would you do to survive this upcoming Halloween?
I'd get the entire neighborhood, the entire state, the town involved. And then if it came into my own hands, I'm going to say to everybody, hey, next time he comes to my house, I'm going to set him on fire, okay?
Okay, yeah.
And I'd set him on fire.
And you set him on fire. Okay. So, Gus, what do you think?
This isn't something I would necessarily do, right?
Yeah.
But I want to let him in.
You want to let him into the house.
I want to let him in.
Are you kidding me?
I want to know. My wife can help.
He's got no head!
I don't know. What does he want? I'm curious. What does he want?
I think he wanted you to take the heart out.
You ask,
And
you
put
say,
it in.
what do you want, right?
Wow.
What if he wants me to put the heart inside of him?
But would you do that?
He needs his heart.
What's to stop him from doing that?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, but do it yourself.
But he needs a human's touch. This is a beautiful
So this is what you,
story
okay,
I've
so you
written.
go into it, your plan is he comes to your door on Halloween, you take the heart out and you put it inside of
My
him.
perspective is
Uh-huh.
these monsters, right? They come, nobody's just a monster at birth, you know? Like, there's a good side of him, and he's misunderstood, so he just needs help. I think he's come for help. So I'm saying my approach would be to listen and to give him his heart back.
So you take the heart out of the bucket and put it in the suit. That's
Yes.
your solution.
And hand it back to him.
Are you buying any of this?
It's not far off from what I've come up with.
You people are go ahead, sickos.
So this is what we do. I've written out the whole thing. I'm going to open up my book of secrets that has all the information that we need.
Are you a little upset we don't have any props? I want a fucking big book of everything.
The first step to dealing with any kind of paranormal activity is to diagnose what you're dealing with. In this case, it's a giant rabbit mascot with a heart in a jack-o'-lantern bucket. What can we figure out from this information that we're given? We know that there's nobody inside of the suit, so there's definitely some kind of magic or supernatural thing going on here. We know that it's the same suit each time, and that it's susceptible to its environments. Each time we see the suit, it's showing some wear and tear from the seasons passing. Interestingly enough, the state of the suit itself doesn't seem to have any real impediment on the monster's abilities. The last time the narrator encounters the rabbit, the suit is in the worst condition it's appeared in, but the rabbit is still capable of moving at superhuman speeds. So the first thing that comes to mind is a ghost or a demon of some kind possessing the suit, right?
Yeah, especially if he has no head.
Especially if he has no head when you knock it out. There's something inside of the suit that's keeping it alive.
That's what I'm saying, burn the suit.
Burn the suit, right? So,
A ghost would just come back.
You need a new suit.
We could go to Party City, Ryan.
This could be a variation of what we've seen hundreds and hundreds of times before, a ghost inhabiting a suit of armor. Haunted suits of armor are such an age-old incarnation of ghosts, you've seen versions of them dating back all the way to the Elizabethan era of storytelling. But it doesn't have to be a suit of armor. It can realistically be just about anything that would allow a spirit to move about relatively undetected, i.e. a creepy rabbit mascot. Relatively with quotation marks.
Part of my biggest problem is that it's all dusty. Maybe if he was clean.
Maybe come at him with a little vacuum thing.
Oh, wow.
Dustbuster.
That's better than the idea that you had about having lunch with him or whatever
Full
you
of
wanted.
ideas. Okay.
It's worth considering briefly that this could be an enchanted mascot costume, where the rabbit itself isn't really sentient, but is instead being controlled by some outside party with some sort of power or spell or something. But the fact that it seems like the rabbit has aged with the passing of 10 years in the story makes me think that that's probably not the case. If it was a spell or something like that, the rabbit costume would likely just disappear after the spell was over.
Bye-bye!
So we can figure that it's probably a ghost inside of it.
Or Gus's theory of it being two small children.
Two small children.
small
You said,
man.
yeah, I'm sorry.
small
That was
man,
me. I
right?
said that. I apologize. A small man.
In Catholicism, the first stage of demonic or ghostly possession is that of infestation. And while usually it's a location, like a house or a graveyard that gets infested, there are biblical examples of an infestation being focused into a singular animal or object. Usually for this to happen, there has to be something holding the spell to the object, either a summoning circle or remains. And we see this a lot in stories. An immediate example that you're probably already thinking is Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist, with his bonding seal inside of the suit of armor. Or an even more direct comparison, the animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's, with the remains of the children inside of them. This is going to be an important thing to keep in mind when it comes to defeating something like this, but we'll circle back around to this in just a second.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
How are you going to verify it? Is there any way to verify that we're in fact in the possession realm? Is there like a
There's a way that we're going to, yeah.
There's a wink.
There's a secret handshake.
There's a secret handshake.
So now that we know that the rabbit is likely a ghost or demon possessing the rabbit costume, the next step is figuring out what it's intending on doing to us and how we go about stopping it. Luckily, we have a couple of things going for us. By the end of the story, we know exactly when the rabbit will be back, Halloween, and we have a vague idea of what it wants, a heart. The narrator goes out of his way to say he doesn't know that it's a human heart, and it's possible that the fact that he can't tell might be giving us a clue. The simplest way to survive the Halloween encounter with the rabbit is to just give him a heart. You know exactly when he's coming, so a few days before Halloween, go to your local butcher and get a supply of cow, pig, and chicken hearts and keep them readily available. When the rabbit returns, drop the hearts into his basket and see him on his way. That is a very optimistic approach, but that message we receive is pretty foreboding, and the fact that the rabbit has blood on his face and chest this most recent time implies that he's capable of violence.
That doesn't mean, though, that it's capable of violence.
Right? Could have had an accident.
Paper cut.
Paper cut.
On the mouth and it drips down into the...
A chapped lip. Hand him some bliss stack. That'll help.
So just in case the rabbit isn't happy with just giblets, here's how you defend yourself. Your first thought might be to light the suit on fire. After all, the ghost is confined to the suit, no more costume, no more way the ghost can get to you. And while this could be worth a shot, it's clear the rabbit doesn't feel typical pain. So even if you immediately lit it on fire, there's not much stopping it from rushing you while it's burning. Another thing to keep in mind, at least if we're sticking to the Catholic definition of things, possession is sometimes contagious, and once the bond keeping the ghost to the bunny suit is destroyed, it's possible that it could spread to you, which is likely what it wants to do anyway. So burning it up should really be kept as a last option.
What if I set an arrow on fire and I'm 20 yards away, I see him coming down the block?
That's not a bad idea either. But I think I have a better solution.
Despite what it might initially seem, I don't think the rabbit wants to eat the guy's heart. If it was hungry for hearts, it would have eaten the one that's in the basket.
Who's to say that that's not... Who's to say there wasn't 10 that morning and, you know, he's saving this one for lunch?
It could be. It could be that.
Why would he show him that? Why would he show him his
I
lunch?
think he's a sicko. He's just saying, oh, look, I'm a creep.
I think that the heart in the basket is the bond tying the ghost to the costume. This could make sense as the rabbit never drops the basket, even when it goes to pick its head back up. As the heart starts to decay, which it very well could be considering the narrator can't tell if it's a human one or not, the rabbit costume is likely also decaying. The rabbit might be hoping to kill the guy, take his heart, and rejuvenate itself with a new one. So here's what I would do. The week leading up to Halloween, take a chicken heart to a church and have it blessed by the pastor there. Soak it in holy water, show it VeggieTales, the whole 9 yards. Then, when the rabbit comes to collect, have someone ready to burn it on standby. When you offer it hearts like we do in the optimistic approach, quickly grab the heart that's in the basket and replace it with the holy chicken heart. Then smash the original heart on the floor with your foot. Without the original bond, the demon would be forced to attempt the new heart, as it's the fastest alternative, only to be exorcised upon its immediate unadulterated contact with the christened chicken heart. And if that doesn't work, have your buddy burn the thing to the ground. As you now know, it is not a Catholic demon or ghost, and its possession is therefore not contagious. And that's how you survive too early to trick or treat.
That's how you beat it.
I'm proud of us.
I am. We did a lot of that.
We did a lot of that without any of the legwork.
It's true.
Yeah, no.
It's just instinctual.
I brought kindness into it.
I think the true thing that he wanted was love
And a chicken.
and a chicken heart.
10 years. This guy's a sucker, though.
It's
Good
crazy
Lord.
that he let it go on that
10
long.
fucking years.
10 years.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
But maybe he only came every year, like once a year, right?
Not because he was in October and December, so he was averaging once every 2 months,
It's true.
every other month.
I just don't get why he didn't go on Halloween actually? You know, what was he doing?
I
he
think
busy?
was it, yeah, like was this a 10-year plan he had?
It seems mighty silly that he would let him know the day that he's coming to get him.
Can you imagine the fucking priest going up to the priest? Hey, Father,
Could you do this?
this is weird. I got a couple pig hearts in the truck. You mind
Can
you mind taking the fucking thing and
Yeah.
splashing them?
You guys let us know what you think. The story might, you can find plenty of holes within my story. Big thanks to HoodQuest for his story.
HoodQuest, good writing.
Everybody check him out on Reddit, on CreepyPasta.com, all those things. And if you like this, leave a comment. Let us know that
What's
we did
your
a good
way to
job.
survive?
How would you have survived? Exactly. Until then, we'll see you next time with another spooky story. Gus, you want to bring us off?